Konnichiwa! This is MJ from CrossBorders Language School, and today we will be tackling how to speak Japanese. For today is sentence construction. So for basic sentence construction, we also have to follow basic grammar rules just like we do in English. For the first set of grammar patterns, we'll be showing you 6 very common ways for you to be able to create your own sentence in Japanese. So the first one is constructed by using one noun followed by the particle ha, a second noun, and then with the polite ending of desu. So in this particular grammar structure, you'll notice that between the first and second noun is a particle ha, which indicates that the word before is the topic of the message that will relate to the second noun. Select a noun or word you want to talk about, then you add the particle ha to show that this topic will be the main core of your statement. For example, when you're introducing yourself, normally in English you say, I am Mike or I am Bob. But if you want to make that sentence, or if you want to translate that sentence into Japanese, the structure of that sentence would be Watashi wa Mike desu. So you'll see there that watashi or I is your first noun followed by the particle ha, and then followed by a second noun which is your name. And then you end it with desu to make it formal and polite. Now ha is normally read as wa, but when you're writing it down, it shows or is written as ha. Now, most of you would be wondering, why do we have to add desu to the end of our sentence? That is because desu works as a predicate for your entire sentence. It is also used to indicate judgment and being assertive. It also helps you convey that the thought you're saying to the listener is done in a formal or polite way. In addition to that, desu also has a negative form, which is commonly known as ja arimasen. So this form is used in daily conversations, and when you're trying to use it in a formal speech setting or in writing, it shows up as dewa arimasen instead of ja arimasen. Ja is actually more casual formal compared to dewa arimasen. So if you're trying to engage in a formal conversation with someone, it's better for you to use dewa arimasen than ja arimasen. So for example, when you're trying to say that I am an engineer, normally you would say watashi wa engineer desu. But if you're trying to say I am not an engineer, and you'll see there that we'll have to use the negative form of desu. So it will end up showing, or it will end up becoming watashi wa engineer dewa arimasen. Our next grammar structure is using statement followed by the particle ka. Ka is a particle that conveys doubt, uncertainty, or is pretty much just a question. So when you're using the ka particle at the end of your statements or your sentences, your readers or your listeners will know that what you're trying to say is in fact a question. For example, when you want to ask someone, what is your name? In Japanese, that will end up becoming, Anata no namae wa nan desu ka? So you'll see there, or you'll notice that ka is always added at the end for you to be able to ask a question. The next grammar structure is noun followed by the particle mo. The particle mo is added after the first noun or the topic instead of ha when the statement about the topic is the same as the previous one stated. For example, Mike-san wa gakusei desu. Mike is a student. Mo there is added as a second statement after the first one, which is, for example, Tom-san mo gakusei desu, which would translate to Tom is also a student. So if you were to look for an English counterpart for the particle mo, it would pretty much mean also. Our next grammar structure is a first noun followed by the particle no and then followed by the second noun. So no here is a particle used to connect two nouns together to make a complete thought. The first noun will modify the second noun. Like for example, you're going to say, Mike is a student from Tokyo University. In Japanese, you say, Mike-san wa Todai no seito desu. So you'll see there that Mike-san, or our first noun which is Mike, is then followed by the particle no to connect him to our second noun which is Tokyo University or Todai. Lastly, we have honorifics. In Japan, they use honorifics for everyone. Honorifics are the same as when we use Mr., Miss, or Mrs. in English. In Japanese, in order for you to address to somebody else in a polite manner, you normally add san after the name. The English counterpart for san is more or less Miss, Mr., or Mrs. But you can also use it to refer to somebody you don't really know, like a stranger, but in a polite manner. But if it's someone you're close to, or someone younger than you, like, for example, a child, if it's female, they normally add chan. But if it's male, they use kun as an honorific instead of using san.
はじめまして。私の名前はシェリーです。私は学生です。よろしくお願いします。
はい、はじめまして。私は MJ です。よろしくお願いします。
MJ さんも学生ですか？
いいえ、学生ではありません。あなたの先生ですよ。
あ、すみません。